All right, so we want to reset this thing back to factory defaults just to make sure there's not anything going on funny. So I'm going to hit the checkbox, and then I think if I go backwards this way, there we go. So I hit the up arrow key into device. I hit the check mark, reset to factory, yes. Now the default says no, so I'm going to hit one of the buttons, change it to yes. Boom. When you get the all white screen and check mark, that means it's been taught. Then I'm just going to hit X, get out for a while. Okay, now I'm measuring. I'm getting a absolute measurement from the face of the sensor. Now there's a dead zone. So if you're too far out of range or too far close, it just goes to 999. You can change that if you want, but there's a range we want to know. Let's see if we have 2 cards, 0 cards, 1 card. Basically setting up a window mode was suggested. So I'm going to press the check mark key. I don't want to do quick setup right now. We'll go into that here, but we don't want to measure right now. We want to get a digital switching output. So switch point, single point, I would rather not. In this case, I want to go to a window mode. There's also a 2-point teach. I can tell you what that is, and then a signal level warning as well. And then you can turn the output off. But we're going to do a window, which is SP1 and SP2, switch point 1 and 2. So now I changed modes. I hit the down arrow key. Switch point 1, auto. That's what we want. That's kind of like a push button. So I'm going to give it 1 piece of paper. It's like cardstock. All right. Right now it's at 112.3. Now when I move this, I'm jiggling. So there we go. All lit up. Now I'm going to go hit the down arrow key, switch point 2, teach in auto. I'm going to give it another target. My Q1 went off now because I'm out of that first range, and I'm going to hit the check mark. It's at 111. If I move it around, here's the different numbers. I can hit the check mark again. It goes live. Now my switch point is on because I'm in the window. If I remove 1, well, I lifted it up. I'm still in the window. If I remove that, I'm no longer in the window. I'm too far away for the window. Now I'm back in the window, and I'll bring the second one in, and now we're 2 of them in the window. If I raise it up, let's say I had 3 of these, now I'm outside the window and the output turns on. Now I have 1 switch point. So nothing. Yep, I'm good. Yep, I'm good. But if it goes too high, if I have a third one, then my switching output goes off. And there we go. We do go back and take a look at the other options. This does a 0-point teach-in. So let's say I actually want to measure the thickness from the base or from the ground. I'll say, yeah, that's what I want. It brings me down to yes. I have to click again. It lights up. And now when I hit the X button, I've jiggled it around. Okay, it's still at 0. Hey, not bad. And now if I put something in here, it's basically saying I'm 1.4 millimeters closer to the sensor. If I put in 2 of these, it should be around 2.4 or something. Yeah, 2.7. It's just cardstock. 2.4. There we go. Closer. If I move the sensor away, then I start going in positive direction. If I get closer, I'm in the negative direction. So basically, I teared out the distance, and now I have a 0 point. Now I can measure thicknesses of things. A much more typical way of teaching isn't necessarily just the window, because then you don't know if you're too close or too far, although you could use Q1 to just give you a single point switch, and that's just a very simple, like a photo eye. Anything closer than that distance, I'll try not to block it. So single point, yep, I just want to do a teach mode, a single point teach in. And then here's my SP1 auto. Auto just means it's going to teach whatever I put in there, it's giving that value. The only difference with manual mode is now if I move around, nothing here changes. I actually type in the distance using the up and down arrow keys to give it a distance that it's set for. So, and then you can change the logic. Do you want the output to go high or low when you've met your range? There's timers if you want like an on delay or an off delay. And then hysteresis could be really important. It's only 0.5 millimeter hysteresis. So let's say I have my switch point and I put it in and it goes off, but this cardstock is less than 0.5 millimeter thick. If I remove it, it may not turn off. I'd actually have to back the sensor away. So you actually might want to like hit the X button and get in here and potentially adjust that. Maybe you want to make it bigger, maybe you want to make it smaller. So maybe a 0.2 millimeter hysteresis. Analog output, you can set your 4 and 20, you can change your slope, and then we have your device for getting back to factory defaults.